By the end of this video, you'll be able to generate, print, and save a suspension report that can be shared with parents of students who have been suspended from school. Here's the situation. You're an administrator at a K-8 school. A student at your school, Curtis Parker, was in a fight during the lunch hour. You have met with this student and felt that, considering the severity of his actions, a 5-day suspension from school was warranted. You have already contacted Mrs. Parker, his mother, about the incident. You would like to generate a suspension report that will provide details about what happened and outlines the parameters of the suspension. This report will be sent home to the parents. What do you need to do? You begin by clicking on the PowerSchool logo to refresh the page, and you are ready to go. You need to generate a suspension report outlining the details of Curtis Parker's suspension. This report will be kept on file at the school, and a copy will be sent home to Curtis's parents. You need to begin by bringing up Curtis Parker's student record. Typing a few letters of Curtis's last name should allow Smart Search to find him for you. Parker, P-A-R, Curtis. Clicking on Curtis Parker will bring up his student record. Looking down the left side of the page, you will see Administration. Under Administration, you see two important options when it comes to student conduct. Incidents, where details of student misconduct are recorded in PowerSchool, and Suspension Report, for generating a detailed summary of any incident involving the suspension of a student. Here are some important guidelines that you must remember when using PowerSchool and when a student misconduct occurs in your school. The following 3 steps would be considered best practice. Step 1. An administrator would record the details of the student misconduct in the Incidents section. In this case, the details of the fight involving Curtis Parker have already been carefully inputted in the system. You can learn more about inputting data in the Incident Management section by going to the DataConnect's website, hovering over Let Me Try in the navigation bar, selecting your administrative role from the drop-down menu, and selecting Incident Management. Step 2 in terms of best practice is that once the details of the incident have been inputted in the Incident section, if at all possible, the administrator should contact the parent by phone to explain what happened. Step 3. A suspension report is generated if needed and saved as a PDF file for the school's records. Now, let's click on Suspension Report and continue the task at hand. Before proceeding, it is imperative that you understand that the suspension report is just that, a report. By filling in this report, you have the option to print out a hard copy to send to parents and also save a copy as a PDF file for your records. Otherwise, the suspension report is not saved in PowerSchool, and once you navigate away from this report screen, the report will be lost. Opening the report brings up all the report preferences or details that you'd like to see in it. Take your time and carefully fill these in because once you navigate away from this page, these details will be lost. So, starting at the top, you can click on the drop-down arrow in Report Title and select the appropriate suspension. In our example, Curtis is being suspended for 5 days for fighting. For Administrator, again, select the drop-down menu and choose the name of the administrator involved with this incident. In this training environment, we have no designated administrators, but for this demonstration, we will say no administrator found. Now, we enter the first day of the suspension. Curtis is being suspended as of May 11th. The last day of the suspension will be May 15th. Suspension type. Again, you click on the drop-down menu for suspension options. In this case, it's an out-of-school suspension. Return to school. This would be the date of return for that student. In this case, Curtis will be returning on Monday, May 18th. As for the number of days of the current suspension, He's being suspended for 5 days. Number of days accumulated to date. This is referring to the total number of days that a student has been suspended to date. This allows you to keep track of suspension totals for that student. This is Curtis's first suspension, so we enter 5. Date and time contacted. This would be referencing the contact you made with parents regarding the suspension. You contacted Mrs. Parker right after the fight, so the date contacted would be May 11th. And the time contacted would be 12:30 on that afternoon. Conduct code, we choose the appropriate code from the drop-down menu. In this case, it's fighting. Conduct comment, here's where you can type in a few details about the incident. Curtis was in a fight with another student today at lunchtime. When you have completed all the details, click Submit. Looking at this report, you see the name of the school, the notice of suspension, and the date. The report self-populates all the students' information, the parents' information, and the detail of the suspension that you had provided. The last step that is very important is to save the report as a PDF file for your records. Again, PowerSchool will not save this report on Curtis Parker, so you need to do this yourself. To do so, scroll back up to the top of the page. Click the printer icon located at the top right, and find the Qt PDF Writer and select it. Click Print. A Save As window will appear. Select the file location and name your file. Best practice would be to have a suspensions file saved as per your district protocol. I have a suspensions file already created for this example. As for the file name, best practice would be to save the file with the student's name and the date of the suspension. Parker_Curtis space May 11th space 2015. Click Save. Your report is now saved as a PDF file and can be printed if needed. Congratulations! You've successfully generated and saved a student suspension report. You can now print out a report for Curtis and send it home to Mrs. Parker.